This is the
How we doing? How we living? Let's see, we're all here. Getting ready for this Capcom event. What's up, everyone? iSphere, Zero Fanatic, how y'all doing? What are the expectations today? What do you guys think we're going to see? You guys think we're going to see something really, really good? Or do you think we're going to see a flop? Yo, what's up, Miguel? How's it going? Long time no see. How you been? How's everything going for you? How's my audio? Is my audio good right now, or is it bad? I got a new boom arm that I'm using. Dragon's Dogma 2. Yeah, they better show Dragon's Dogma 2. There's like no reason for that not to be shown. Alright, what else we got? Dragon's Dogma 2. We got the DLC for Resident Evil Village. Oh, we're starting. Let's get on over there. Okay. All right. Let's see what they got.
Welcome to the Capcom E3 Showcase. I'm your host, Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer, and I'll be your guide as we walk through the latest releases, news, and updates from Capcom. We'll hear from the Resident Evil Village team, share some news from the world of Monster Hunter, and get the latest on Ace Attorney. Then we'll wrap up with some updates from our friends at Capcom Fighters. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Our first stop today, Resident Evil Village. The Resident Evil franchise continues to pioneer the latest and greatest in survival horror. The team has been blown away by the response to Resident Evil Village, which launched last month. It brought the world another chapter in this decades-long story as the franchise celebrates its 25th anniversary this year. I'm honored to be able to introduce Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village, with a special message for the fans.
Another time.
Bye-bye.
There's nothing to fear.
Where's Rose? She's everything to me.
I think it's time you left things in my hands. Go on, rest now.
Oh, thank you, Miguel. How you doing, man?
Hi everyone, my name is Tsuyoshi Kanda, producer on Resident Evil Village. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank everyone who's played since we launched the game in May. We hope you're enjoying this new chapter in survival horror. As a reminder, everyone who purchases Resident Evil Village will gain free access to our online multiplayer title, Resident Evil ReVerse, where players go head-to-head with their favorite Resident Evil heroes and bioweapons. I'm now happy to announce that Resident Evil ReVerse will go live next month across all supported platforms. So head into the fray to celebrate the Resident Evil 25th anniversary.
Okay. Okay, some more DLC for Village. Okay.
Thank you, Kanda-san, for that wonderful update. Next up, some long-awaited news from the world of Monster Hunter. Whether it's adventuring alongside monsters or battling them with friends, we've got something for you. First, let's dive into the brand new story-based RPG entry to the series, Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin.
Still need to play Monster Hunter Stories 1.
This was his fate. Red may have been strong and skilled, but against the awesome power of nature, he was merely a man. He never stood a chance.
All around, things just kept getting worse. But I heard that Guardian Ratha had survived and returned to Hekolu Island. I went there to see Red's old monster again.
Okay.
Then, of course, that's when I met you.
You were given Red's kinship stone, and now a Rathalos egg. This is destiny.
This is the legendary monster, Razer Ratha, the monster with the wings of ruin.
It's said that a beat of its wings can bring about waves of destruction.
Many people believe there's a connection between the strange happenings and the wings of ruin. The pits are appearing everywhere, and they're emitting a strange light.
What's this whole idea of forming kinship with monsters? How do you control them?
It's not about control. Monsters help riders of their
Yeah,
own
we're probably
will.
not going to get Street Fighter 6.
And
They haven't released all the characters for 5
between
yet.
monsters and
Probably another
riders
2 years before
are
6
just
comes
like
out.
your
Or
bond with
maybe
Tsukino.
3.
What kind of power does Ratha really have? Why are all of these pits appearing? And who are those
need to get my
people who
hands
want
on
to take
one.
Ratha for themselves? All I have are questions.
If there's worry or doubt in your voice, Ratha will become anxious too. He needs to know that you will protect him no
This looks
matter
really
what.
good.
I can sense the flames of his life force weakening. The burden of such great power is too much for his body to bear.
A voice. Can you hear it?
Riders can bond with monsters. Surely you can groove with fellow humans.
They have the power of kinship. They're friends. They're monsties. Humans carry the strength of
Really?
everyone they
Better on
meet.
iOS?
That makes them strong. My friends here taught me that. I believe in the strength of humanity.
Yeah, I just need to go get a copy for my collection. But yeah, I doubt Street Fighter 6 because Capcom they made a lot of mistakes with 5, and they have a new developer, new director, and everything for 5. So it might be a while. They are. I mean, Street Fighter 6 is insider information. It is like fairly far into development. Let's just say over 65% is done. Okay, I need to pick this up. I still need to find time to play Monster Hunter Rise. Like, that game has been out for like what, 3 months?
Looks pretty epic, right?
And I haven't even played
how about
it.
that announcement? The canine companion Palamute from Monster Hunter Rise will be joining Monster Hunter Stories 2 as one of the new monsties in the first free title update coming soon after the game's release. You can get an early peek at the game with the Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin trial version starting on June 25th, which also carries your progress over to the full game release just a few weeks later on July 9th. That's not the only way to join the hunt. Millions of you made Monster Hunter Rise a huge success earlier this year, and we have even more content coming, including a new collaboration on the Rise. Let's find out more.
Let's go! This is for my fellow hunters!
Rathalos is no runt. Moon's blessing emerge. Get ready. I have a good feeling. What will it be? Moon's blessing emerge.
I just need to. Like, I have it digitally and physically. I just haven't played it. I don't know. I just haven't had the time, really. I do have the collector's edition of Stories pre-ordered, but I want to play Rise. I need to get on Rise.
Tamura is like my second home.
You think you can take on Rondine?
Okay.
There has never been a better time to be a Monster Hunter fan. With all the new updates to Monster Hunter Rise and the launch of Monster Hunter Stories 2 this summer. We can't wait to hear about your own stories of adventure. Well, that's not the only thing Capcom has in store for us this July. Fans of Phoenix Wright will have new chapters to explore with the release of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. North American and European future attorneys will finally be able to get their hands on the Great Ace Attorney Adventures and the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve, which were previously only available in Japan. You'll travel back in time to the late 19th century Japan and London to play as Ryunosuke Naruhodo, Phoenix Wright's ancestor, in this action-packed prequel. Now, let's hear more about the story.
Like, I've literally had no time to fire it up.
Welcome to the center of the world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
This country is incredible. I will become a lawyer. I have to.
So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Who are you? Harlock Shows. You must have heard of me.
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san.
Let us engage in the art of deduction. Mr. Naruhodo. Well, What have we here? It would seem the truth is now tantalizingly close.
The defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Objection! Your testimony completely contradicts the facts.
Objection!
I'm curious about getting
My
this.
lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
You're the best lawyer in the world.
So we have 10 new cases and 8 mini escapades where you can take on the role of a defense attorney. Now, we all want to see some gameplay, right? Let's take a closer first look at 2 gameplay features new to the franchise in the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles: Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination.
Hello, I'm Jonathan, Capcom's marketing brand manager for the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
Where to?
The Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
The Capcom team is thrilled to present 2 new gameplay features, Dance of Deduction and Summation Examination, coming to the Ace Attorney series.
While investigating to prove your client's innocence, players will come across conspicuous situations that require further examination with the help of Ryunosuke's legal aid Susato and the brilliance of deduction from Detective Herlock.
Yeah, as soon as this stream is finished, I gotta go put out 2 videos.
Herlock will proceed to present his logic and reasoning spectacular, a grandiose yet flawed series of conjectures.
2 Razer products I have. Then I got to record for Guilty Gear Strive review. And then I have to start capturing footage for Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, since I got that from Sony. And then tomorrow I've got some products coming in from Rocket and I think Razer. And it's non-stop. It's literally non-stop. No, I'm not on baby duty today. I just have, I'm behind on videos that I need to get out. So 2 Razer reviews, the Wolverine V2, the Ryan for PlayStation 4.
Ryunosuke and Susato will then discuss to correct the flaws in Herlock's deductions.
And I was supposed to have gotten Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That was actually due today.
At this point,
But I've
players
had no
will be
opportunity
prompted
to
to
play
search for
that
clues
because
that
I'm
help
covering
identify
E3.
the errors in the detective's logic and reveal the truth to the mystery.
And then I still have
As
to
players
do.
present new evidence and observations, Herlock will amend his deductions based on the new information.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Upon uncovering the
Integrate
truth,
and intermission.
Ryunosuke and Herlock enter into a semi-metaphorical, semi-literal dance that brings them to the conclusion of the dance of deduction.
Yeah, I streamed it yesterday. It should be in the E3 playlist. I made one. It should be on the top of my channel. That was the best. That was the best one. Square was terrible. I will say this: Capcom right now is doing a lot better than Square did. Although I do think they're lingering too long here on this, but I understand why they're doing it.
courtroom battles, players will attempt to convince 6 jurors of the innocence of their client. Their progress will be displayed and represented by 2 scales of justice, one black, representing a guilty verdict, and one white, representing a not guilty verdict.
Objection!
In summation examination, take the stand to face off against the jurors, all of whom provide explanations as to why they've reached their guilty verdict.
Yeah, they did. They really did.
You'll have to identify conflicting statements and sway the jury in your favor. Examine each statement carefully and select 2 contradicting jurors to call out the flaws in their logic.
This is actually about to wrap up in like 14 minutes, because it's only half an hour long, right?
Objection!
Zero, you know if it's half an hour long?
Be ready to provide evidence from the court record to help prove the contradiction in their claims. When you successfully point out one of these contradictions among the jurors, you might just change their minds, too. With a slam of their fist, each juror you persuade will send a fiery ball towards the scales above and literally tip the scales of justice in your favor. Bring each contradiction to light and persuade the jury to help prove your client's innocence.
So we probably got like...
Objection! My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage!
This has just been a small taste of the exciting new gameplay features
Take Two one was
in the
bad
Great
too?
Ace
For
Attorney
real?
Chronicles. We are very excited to get this game in the hands of both new fans and diehard fans alike. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, this just ran too long.
It already seems
To
like I
me.
have a bunch of games to catch up on. There are some exciting new adventures and titles to look forward to. Well, that's a look at the new premieres from Capcom, but what about esports? Let's close out today's showcase with a few words from 2 of the stars of Capcom Fighters, Rob TV and Vicious. They'll tell us what's been going on with Capcom esports, including
Wow, I can't
updates on the
stand Rob
Capcom
TV.
Pro Tour, Intel World Open,
I was supposed to have
Street
Rob
Fighter
TV on
League,
the
and all
podcast.
the other content on Capcom Fighters.
And he was an
Over to you
absolute
guys.
jerk to me. Absolute jerk to me.
What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Capcom esports presentation for E3 2021. My name is Vicious, commentator for the Capcom Pro Tour as well as Street Fighter League, here with competitive Street Fighter V player and host extraordinaire, Hollywood, Rob TV. What's going on, Rob?
Oh my goodness, Vicious. Host extraordinaire. That just sounds beautiful. It has a ring to it, and I think that's the perfect word
What's up,
to
Chris?
describe what we have for everyone today. Street Fighter V, Capcom E3, it just feels right, and you feel the electricity in the air. Nice! Nice! What? That was nasty! And there might be some people at home, Vicious, who don't fully know what competitive Street Fighter V is. The long and the short of it is this. We travel all around the world, state to state, country to country, and we try to bring our opponent's life bar from 100 all the way down to 0 and feel pretty goddamn good doing it.
That's right, Rob. If you think you're the best in your region, sign up for Capcom Pro Tour to prove it and become possibly a world champion at Street Fighter V.
The double perfect, the way he looked at the camera like...
Don't ever expect another man's controller.
So in this year's CPT overall, it's a series of tournaments that have $5,000 on the line for each tournament, but that money alone, that's not what's really at stake here. It's about making it to the granddaddy of them all, Capcom Cup.
That guy got such a freaking ego.
Item just resetting grand finals of...
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to trash on Rob TV, but that dude was such an asshole to me.
The Capcom Pro Tour 2021 official
He was
stage
such
and
an
set,
asshole
and that's
to
a
me. I
place that
can't
you are
stand that
very,
guy.
very familiar with.
That's right. We take all of our events and broadcast it live from this stage, and we check out all of the top competitors from each and every one of these regions. And speaking of, the Capcom Pro Tour has shaped up a lot. 2021, we have 32 events going on in the Capcom Pro Tour, spanning across 19 different
He's
territories.
such a
So there's
dick.
so many
I just,
opportunities for players from around the world to get that ticket into Capcom Cup this season. I'm absolutely excited because, again, that is a big change from what 2020 was.
And even
into
worse
what we
when I
can
met him
expect
at
for
E3
2021.
2019.
Is your first qualifier for Japan for the Capcom Pro Tour. Not only can you catch the Capcom Pro Tour live on the Capcom Fighters channel, you can do so
I got no
on a
love for
plethora
him.
of platforms. We have it on Twitch, YouTube,
He said he
Twitter,
looks
and
like a
Facebook. Of course, if you don't catch it live, you can also check out the VODs for all the competitive studying you would need to become a successful Street Fighter V player, as well as catching some of the community-focused content that we have on Capcom Fighters. We have No Neutral, the official pre-show of the Capcom Pro Tour. We have sets where we take players from around the world and play off in an exhibition first to 10. Not only that, actually, we do have Street Fighter League that's happened season after season, non-stop action, 6 teams of 3, duke it out in this battle tournament series to see who will walk away with the championship.
Exactly.
And the
You gotta know when to turn it off. This is why I don't. This is why like I don't deal with the FGC.
You don't want to miss because normally we
I just
only have
don't.
1v1 content.
Oh, the guy on the right.
But now you actually have your teammates at your back.
He's an
and
absolute
every
dick
decision
to
that you
me.
make is not just about you anymore.
Look for more news on Street Fighter League later this year.
It's Oki time. What's gonna happen? He checks it.
I just don't care.
Movement.
After 2019 is when I like stopped dealing with FGC. I don't care for none of them dudes.
The Intel World Opening is happening right now. Top players representing 11 regions around the world are competing
That's why
for
it took
their
me so long to get back to playing
in the
fighting
World
games,
Finals
'cause
happening next month.
these
Be
dudes
sure to
killed it
check
for
out
me.
the official website for more information, including current standings and broadcast schedule.
To commemorate this event, everyone who logged in during this period will receive an exclusive competitor title and dojo object. You do not want to miss this.
I highly recommend everyone to stay tuned for future Capcom Pro Tour updates on the Capcom Fighters channel.
And again, we've had so many events so far. We started off with the Japan region. We've had a couple of more events going on afterwards, but the action does not stop. In fact, we're going to be continuing off with the Midwest region for the Capcom Pro Tour. I know you're definitely excited about that.
100%. I mean, of course, your boy is from Ohio. Make sure you guys tune in to see the tournament.
You do not want to miss some of the best Street Fighter V players in the world.
He's incredibly full of himself.
Head to head.
So it's you.
I dare you to find better Street Fighter. I dare you.
This is a game about being a world warrior. Capcom College Tournament play.
Obviously, they got a rivalry.
I'm the best in the world.
This game has changed the lives of so many people here.
Ooh!
Nice.
Oh, the pop-off! That's what I'm talking about.
I told you it's gonna go to the limit, and I ain't lying to the beat.
This is the ultimate Street Fighter V experience. This is Capcom Pro Tour.
Thanks, guys. It's been a really exciting season so far, and I can't wait to see how this plays out on the road to Capcom Cup. Remember to check out Capcom Fighters' Twitch and YouTube channels for more information and to watch the latest matches. So that's a wrap for Capcom at E3 this year. Let's recap what we all saw. Resident Evil Village is back with the latest installment of the survival horror experience and RE-verse as part of the franchise's 25th anniversary. We have new adventures to embark on in the world of Monster Hunter with Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin, and Monster Hunter Rise. And don't forget to go back in time with the great Ace Attorney Chronicles to tap into the family history of Phoenix Wright and solve new cases.
I'm not gonna say this is.
Finally, don't miss out on the esports fun.
I'll save it.
Make sure
I'll
you
save
catch the latest matches with Capcom Fighters. There really is something for everyone here today. But don't go anywhere yet. Join the conversation on Twitter and make sure you check out the Capcom virtual booth on the E3 portal to watch all these videos again and more. I'm Rachel Querico, aka Seltzer. Thank you for being part of the Capcom experience at E3 this year.
Okay. You took the words out of my mouth. No, it wasn't the worst. It was. I used your exact words because it's exactly what I was thinking. It was lackluster. It was very lackluster. There was nothing new. It was things that we already knew were coming out. We already knew Monster Hunter Rise 2 was coming out. Monster Hunter Rise updates were coming. We knew Monster Hunter Stories 2 is right around the corner. The Phoenix Wright game, The Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, we've known about that. We knew they were going to do DLC for Resident Evil Village. We knew Resident Evil Versus. Well, the only new thing, technically the only new thing was when Verse was coming out. That was it. That was the only new thing. Because we didn't have a release date before as to when Resident Evil Verse was coming out. So that's new. You know, the Street Fighter V thing, that was fine. I mean, I don't really play Street Fighter V anymore. It's a good game, but I just don't play it anymore. They've changed it up. So if anyone hasn't played Street Fighter V, you know, either since launch or, you know, the last couple of updates, if you jump into it now, it's a completely different game. Yoshinori Ono is no longer the director of it, or the director of the fighting game division. So it's the people that are running it now are actually fans of Street Fighter, and they retooled the whole game. So it's a completely different game. Of course, you know, I'm not hiding it. I don't care for Rob TV. I don't like that guy. Like I said, he was a complete asshole to me at E3 2019, and was an asshole to me when it came to coming on my show. So, other than that, be honest, and I got a lot of friends that work at Capcom. I feel like this could have been a tweet or some YouTube videos. I don't know why this needed to be at E3. They didn't, I mean, they could have gave us something, right? It was lackluster, but it was better than Square Enix. There was nothing new. I think that's what made it, for me, lackluster, was there was nothing new. But yeah, it was games. There wasn't any political pandering. Like, is it me, or did Ubisoft have the absolute worst, and they got, you know, with all the pandering and virtue signaling and everything that they were doing, that every other company following them didn't even do that. They just went straight to games. Well, Gearbox screwed up, but aside from that, it's been it like I said, this wasn't terrible. You know, okay, you said the one earlier, the Take Two wasn't even game. It was a web app. Yeah, that's terrible. That was absolutely terrible. I can see people dumping on. I'm trying to pull up Twitter and see what the Razer, because I'm curious about Razer's Razer stream. I can see people dumping on this, but the same thing at the same time, this wasn't terrible. It was just lackluster in the sense of, if you were expecting new things, they didn't give it to you. Alright, so I'm logged on Twitter. Okay, so I'm over here. I'm checking Wario64. Like I said, if you're not following Wario64, he's who you need to be following. Okay, so people are already dumping on it, saying it was a worst E3 conference. It was not. This was not bad. It's just, I think if you were expecting a lot of new stuff, you'll be upset. But it was just, you know, it was par for the course. Matt Chris says, I wonder how many of these companies are having problems because of the global, some of the pandemic. Yeah, I think that really plays a strong factor into a lot of this. But Microsoft is still the go. They came out, they've had the best presentation overall. Ice says, I said Dragon Song 2 was a joke, but it was in a hack. Oh, that leak that came out last year. I believe it is in development because the show on Netflix did really well, and I think they are working. They should be. That could have been something they could have teased. That would have piqued a lot of interest. So the Western companies mostly did pander. Yeah, the Western ones did. You notice that all the Japanese ones didn't even touch on it, with the exception of Microsoft. They didn't do any pandering either, which is good. They usually Eastern companies. Yeah, they do. Yep. First place, Bethesda, Xbox easily. Yeah, there's right now nothing's touching it, and it's crazy because when you think about it, the company that could have touched it, that could have like maybe not beaten Microsoft, but at least came close to it, would have been Capcom for day 3. So the only thing we got left now is Nintendo. I think Nintendo's gonna bring some heat. I really think Nintendo's gonna bring some heat. I don't know. Okay, so I know the whole Switch Pro thing got leaked, or what, the new Nintendo Switch. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Said Ultimate Jester. Yo, what's up, Jester? How you doing? Said Dragon Dogma was Monster Hunter for West. Now Monster Hunter is very popular in the West, so why bring Flop Game back? Ice was like, who do you think is second best so far? Honestly, so far second best, I gotta give it to Capcom. Like I gotta, like if there's ever a blueprint for playing it safe, it's Capcom right now. They played this so safe. They took zero risk. They're like, yo, we're not doing nothing. We're not gonna pander, which is funny because you got a lot of people in the company that do pander, and they're like, nope, we're not doing none of that. We're just gonna show games that we already got coming out, and that's it. Said Microsoft did great. I agree. Yeah, so right now it's like Capcom 2, Microsoft is number 1. Because it's also hoping Side Games has showcase because I'm really interested in Project Awakening and Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Wait, Side Games doesn't do anything? It's a Nintendo Direct and a Treehouse. Okay, I guess we might as well take predictions. What do you guys predict is going to be shown from Nintendo tomorrow? Matt Chris said, political pandering is such an old trope. I hope most gamers are sick of it. It's time it stops. Like like y'all remember I said it yesterday. Like, yo, they need get your politics out of my gaming, right? Like, get that shit out of my games. You really look at it. You spend $200. Look. You spend $200 on Nintendo Switch Lite. You spend $300 on a Nintendo Switch. You spend anywhere from $300 to $500 on the Xbox Series X, S, and X. $400 to $500 on the PlayStation 5 digital, PlayStation 5, hundreds of dollars to thousands on PC. Give us games. Give us a reason to keep buying products from your company. Not all this political pandering. Like, it's just, you know, like, that's just my thoughts on it. And if you're gonna come to E3, like, I don't know what Ubisoft was thinking. Like, come on. Respect people, respect gamers, respect our time, respect the fact that we are the ones that put money in your companies and in your employees' pockets. Stop preaching. Turn on the news for politics. Anyway, all right. So what else is it? So check Twitch chat for E3 to see what people think of it. So I don't think we hear about the Pro until later next year. The SKUs have already been leaked. I actually got a SKU leak too from because I have an affiliate thing where GameStop is the very one that leaked it. If anything, I think it's just another revision that, you know, like a slight spec bump. Because remember, think about the DS. Like, how many variations of the DS do we get? We have the original DS, the DS Lite, DSi, DSi XL. Might go the same way with the Switch. I mean, 3DS had like what, 4 variations too? Yo, thank you for the sub. Reese or Rekwai, however I say it. Let me know how I'm supposed to say it. You say you agree with Capcom in a second. Yeah, I mean, they played it so safe. You cannot be mad at Capcom. They played it safe. And it is what it is. Like, I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad. I am personally not mad at Capcom. Capcom, y'all played it so safe. You didn't take any risk. You didn't show anything new. You didn't, you know, preach to your audience. You just showed us what you got. Like, hey, this is what we're working on. This is what we've been working on. And this is what you're getting. But then when you think about it, they're affected by the pandemic. So it's like they, what can they do? But I'm not mad at them. You know, as I said, Microsoft is number one. Best presentation so far in the E3. Best presentation in years. And Capcom is number 2. Let's see, what else? Do you see the NFC garbage that was shown earlier today? No, I didn't see any of that. I think many big Nintendo games are still not finished, like Metroid Prime 4. They started making Prime 4 from scratch last year. I think we probably got another year or 2 before they even get close to wanting to release that. Maybe DLC characters. Guaranteed it's going to be a DLC character for Smash. But how many more we got? We got 2 or 3 more for Smash they're going to be dropping. It's a Breath of the Wild 2 and maybe Zelda remake. I think we're going to... I can see them showing a new trailer for Breath of the Wild 2 to build hype. Another trailer for Skyward Sword. And I think they're probably going to do a collection. Like, you know how we had the Mario collection? I think they're going to do a Zelda collection. If the the GameStop poster thing is anything to go by. The Spirit Train, please. Because says, I don't think crazy things will be there tomorrow. I hope it's gonna play on Switch. Like, you mean like Xenoblade 3 or Xenoblade X? Breath of the Wild 2 won't be there tomorrow, I think. Metroid was just restarted for development, so that's definitely not there. Guarantee we're gonna see SMT 5, because didn't that get leaked? And then they had to go, like, Atlas is like, oh, well, shit, it's out the bag, we're working on it. It's dropping this year. Ultimate Justice at least new trailer or update for Breath of the Wild 2, I think. Possibly Bayonetta 3. Zero said we did 3DS, 3DS XL, new 3DS, new 3DS XL, and 2DS. Jeez, 5 revisions. Wow. Is a new Zelda remake already? I don't think so. Remember, Skyward Sword is coming soon. Oh, okay. Alright, so guys, I'm going to wrap this up. I don't know if I'm gonna do the Razer stream, but if y'all enjoyed it, make sure you like, sub, all that, and I will catch y'all on the next one.